As a result, when NHK offered Miyazaki to be involved in Future Boy Conan, he volunteered to be a director. At that time, he was questioning, am I just gonna end up as one of the staff members? If I want to make what I truly hope to make, I have to direct. That's how he started making Future Boy Conan in 1977. However, while he was making Conan, he ran into a problem again, which I already talked about when I lectured about Raputa. It was that he as a director had to turn down the scenes that his colleague animators submitted. His colleague animators included Yasuo Otsuka, a longtime friend of Miyazaki and his elder. Otsuka also asked Miyazaki, let me draw Lana too. But Miyazaki said, you can't. You have to draw Jimzy. So he had to turn down his friend's request. Otsuka pleaded, but Miyazaki had to say, when it comes to Lana, I'm the only one who can draw her. And there were numerous similar circumstances to the point he was very depressed. He quickly lost his friends. He said, I have no friends now. When Conan ended, not only because he felt accomplished, but also because of the reason I just mentioned, he went to Takahata and begged, please let me help you with Anne of Green Gables. So he became Takahata's animator again. But as I said, the first day Miyazaki joined the team, he started criticizing another animator sitting next to him, saying, you did it wrong, give it to me, and fix their drawings, which brought chaos to the studio. Moreover, Miyazaki couldn't devote himself to Anne of Green Gables, was because of Yoshifumi Kondo, aka Kibun Kondo among his fans, who later directed Whisper of the Heart. Kondo was Takahata's partner in Anne of Green Gables. Kondo was the central figure, and the world of Anne of Green Gables was created by him, who was the animation director. Miyazaki realized it was no longer the past when he could make unreasonable requests and Takahata accepted them, so he couldn't find his place in the team. By the way, Kondo is truly a genius of anime. You remember when Takahata and Miyazaki made Grave of the Fireflies and My Neighbor Totoro respectively? At that time, they tried to steal Kondo from each other. Takahata said, you can take anyone you want except for him. Please let me have Kon-chan. Then Miyazaki fought back, if Kon-chan won't join Totoro, I won't direct. So they fought a big fight. But when they fought, they always did it directly, but both bitched indirectly to producer Toshio Suzuki. Suzuki had a long negotiation with Miyazaki, and at the end, Suzuki said, Miya-san, you can draw, but Takahata can't. Let him have at least one skilled draftsman. It was a challenging negotiation. But while Miyazaki was crying, no, I don't want anyone else. I want Kon-chan. Takahata stole away Hideaki Anno as well. Quite a nerve, huh? Anyway, it was a big incident. To sum up, that's how gifted Kondo was. Now, when Miyazaki was depressed after seeing Takahata and Kondo working together for Anne of Green Gables, a new company called Telecom was about to be established. It was the animation company that later made the Castle of Cagliostro. So, finally, we are on the later half of the timeline. So Miyazaki moved to Telecom after Conan was broadcasted. Then he was part of Little Nemo. He was the Japanese director candidate along with Takahata. Then the Castle of Cagliostro was released. What happened during this 1 year? Am I switching to the paid part? No, not yet. There's something I need to talk about beforehand, so I'll continue the free part a bit more. I think if I ended here, I'd be ripping you off. Sorry, it's getting hot, so let me take this off. I'm like a rakugo storyteller. I mean, I just talked about the first 2 minutes of pre-credit. I think the wheel of fate began to spin. When Miyazaki went to the US for Little Nemo, Hollywood recognized his talent. Actually, Miyazaki had no plan to direct the Castle of Cagliostro. He said he had done everything in the first season of the TV series. Rather than that, the production of Little Nemo was a collaboration with Hollywood with a budget of $24,400,000. George Lucas was the producer and Ray Douglas Bradbury wrote the script. It was an incredible film. Miyazaki was supposed to direct it. This was planned by the evil producer Fujioka, as I mentioned earlier. When Pippi Longstocking was rejected by the author, he was already on to the next piece. His next plan was to go to Hollywood and succeed. He thought making an anime in Japan and winning a high viewing rate neither makes us acknowledged nor rich. That's wrong. So he headed to Hollywood. Look at Disney. They are successful. Osamu Tezuka, Tatsunoko Production, and Kodansha, who made Akira, all thought the same. They all wanted to go to Hollywood and make the world acknowledge Japanese anime. But when we look at history, the only guy who really went to Hollywood, rented a luxury house and lived there, interacted with the American staff for years, and actually produced an anime film was Yutaka Fujioka. That guy with shady eyes in sunglasses. No one else could do that. And the story which he could obtain the right to was Little Nemo. Little Nemo was a weekly newspaper comic strip that was on the Sunday edition of Herald Tribune, which had the headquarters in New York City. It was in color and occupied one whole page. You see the title over here, Little Nemo in Slumberland? So it's about Nemo having a strange dream every episode. In this episode, the boy's bed grows long legs and walks out of the room. The legs get longer and longer over the buildings, but as the legs get entangled, the boy drops and wakes up from the dream. It was simple as that, but it was extremely popular back then. It was actually considered to be the most popular piece in the history of American comics. Every episode completes in a page, and every ending was Nemo falling from the bed to wake up from his dream. But the stories varied so much. It was so popular to the point that if someone made an anime out of it, Mickey Mouse couldn't have beaten its sales.